Outkick founder Clay Travis joins me now. Clay, always great to see you. First of all, what do you make of, the ban on TikTok? Do you think it's the government's job to ban a social media website, a China-owned social media website, we should add, for security concerns, or basically for the protection of our children?
Yeah, it's such a big question. My reaction would be we need to force that TikTok's American assets to be sold to an American-owned company instead of allowing China to use it. Julie, I know you got kids too.
Yeah.
They use TikTok like crazy. And what I have seen with my own kids is they use TikTok like you or I might have used Google. In other words, they type in a query, what's a good restaurant in city here? What should I do to deal with acne? I mean, look up other kids to see where they go to school. They have boyfriends, girlfriends. I mean, it's wild. It's kind of a one-stop shop. So the challenge here, and I'm sure you've dealt with this already, kids are way better at avoiding bans and figuring out how to use their technology when they talk with each other, if they have iPads, if they have phones, as many teenagers do. I'm skeptical that the United States government can stop teenagers from accessing anything that they want to access on the internet. But I do think that TikTok should be an American-owned company. Yeah,
the U.S. Surgeon General says that kids should be at least 16 before being allowed on social media at all. He says the platforms are doing a disservice to children with distorted environments. But the other question is how, beyond parental control, it's not clear how social media companies actually would prevent younger users. I have two kids
that's my biggest
are under
question.
16. And
I can't stop them from doing anything.
I cannot stop I have a 10-year-old who is seriously addicted to getting on TikTok somehow, and she's not on a public account. I did originally set her up on a private. I took it off the phone. They can get back on. I mean, if they've got laptops or if they've got iPads or phones, they're going to get on. There's no way that we can control it. You're right. It should be U.S. owned. I don't know if that's even a possibility.
That's the reason we drink, because we can't, Julia,
that's not my only reason
kids,
for drinking. I don't know about you. I have a few more than just one reason.
But it's almost impossible to stop them from getting on here. They're smarter than us with tech, just like we were smarter than our parents when we were, young kids about anything technological.
All right, let's cut to this. President Biden is promoting his electric vehicle tax program. The problem, and I'd say this is a really big problem, is that the GMC Hummer EV that he is in doesn't even qualify for it. So they put this tweet out: on my watch, the Great American Road Trip is going to be fully electrified. Okay, and not to mention its starting price is $87,000. The median American salary, by the way, is around $52,000 per year. A far cry from that car's hefty price tag. The White House responded, obviously, because whoever put out this tweet with that remark had to have gotten a tongue lashing, because not a good look. The White House responds. They send out an image of the president in a Jeep that actually does qualify for the credit, saying that now through a tax credit you can get up to $7,500 on a new electric vehicle. What do you make of this?
Well, I don't think Joe Biden knows how to send a tweet. So this is just further evidence that his staff is somehow more incompetent than he is, which is really kind of saying something, right? He's got a vice president who is more incompetent than him. He's got a transportation secretary more incompetent than him. And this is just, I don't understand how a White House that is micromanaging everything in terms of Joe Biden's perceptions could make an error this bad. But this is one of the times you can point to it and say, as bad of a president as Joe Biden is, these 100% were not his decisions, and they totally got him screwed up on this without his being aware. But I think it's a bad look. I think it's just evidence of this electric vehicle fad in general, Julie. You know this. I mean, Democrats keep lecturing people that they can save money on gas prices if they buy an EV. Most people can't afford an EV.
Yep. No, I know. They're not cheap. I also just want to get to this. California Governor Gavin Newsom's wife, she's reportedly raking in big bucks from public schools that basically are in line showing her woke gender films. According to a Watchdog report, Jennifer Newsom's nonprofit has actually raked in more than $3 million from documentaries, including The Great American Lie and Fair Play. There is a decent chance that your child may have seen these films. Not my kids, but maybe out there one of your kids did. More than 2.5 million students in 5,000 schools across all 50 states have actually watched the documentaries. Jennifer Newsom wrote and she directed them. Her group reportedly charging schools an average of $270 to stream them. And there are loads of critics, one tweeting, grifting along, nothing to see here. Another says, another liberal crook, yet another ethics. Who cares about ethics? I don't understand how this makes it into kids' schools. I don't understand why parents don't have a say. Since when are the educators and the school districts the parents? Did they birth my 3 children? No, they did not. I will make choices for them, not Mrs. Newsom.
I agree with you 100% here. First of all, the idea that our public schools are paying money for the governor's wife's film to be shown there is a clear and pretty transparent conflict of interest, because it's a way to curry favor, in theory, with the governor who controls the overall school budget. So this is unacceptable. But also the idea that our tax dollars would be being spent on films such as these in the first place. I wouldn't like it if they were watching this film. My kids, I've got a 15, a 12, and an 8-year-old, Julie. I wouldn't like it if they were watching films like this in school anyway. But the idea that we are doing it and paying for it, that her nonprofit, even though it's a nonprofit, that they are profiting off of, what are they paying her? How many people are on that nonprofit's payroll? Because remember, there's a lot of people who make a lot of money off so-called nonprofits. This is a clear conflict of interest. It shouldn't be occurring this way. It's frankly inexcusable.
Clay Travis, thank you so much for coming on today. Great to have you on.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.